All right, we got about 1 minute to the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange. Already have a number of signals to review to get started. So I'm getting that set up now. There are no major news items for the day. So things might be unusually slow for a Monday, but we should be fine. Not sure what happened just there, but we're up and running. All right. Okay, let's get started and see what we got here. You got take profit smashed on Dent versus Tether. So that happened right after I got off a live for London. Did not take that trade. We have a stop loss hit on ILV versus Tether. We've got an invalidated trade on LPT versus Tether. And we have a long on People versus Tether, but it looks like it's about to take stop loss. We're not going to take that. If a stop loss hit on TA versus Tether. We have an invalidation of Sonic versus Tether. That was originally a sell. And it looks like it broke the original entry price. So that's likely to continue going up. We have an invalidation of natural gas. And again, it was called as a long. But it hit the top of the Asian range and then reversed. It's likely to hit stop loss. That's on the 30-minute. We have the same thing on the 15-minute. We looked at ILV. We have an invalidation of CeeLo versus Tether. So a lot of reversals today. And we have a fresh setup on New Zealand dollar versus Japanese yen that will mark itself off at 9 a.m. Now, this is a valid entry. We have blue, gray, aqua, the 800 EMA, the 200 EMA, the 50 EMA. And we have that set up BGA, that is a downtrend. We have the 13 over the 5, the red over the yellow, which means that sellers have control of the market. So at 9 a.m. sharp, it'll mark off this trade and we'll enter this on New Zealand dollar versus Japanese yen. In the meantime, we wait till the next ticker, which for us is going to be 8:40 a.m. That's for the futures market. then 8:45 a.m., and that's for the rest of the market proper. Let's take a look at the fundamentals here. So it looks like cryptocurrency is in consolidation right now. We got Bitcoin going up in price. We have Bitcoin dominance going down, and Ethereum versus Bitcoin going down at the same time. The way this normally works is if you're looking for increases in altcoins, you want a decrease in the price of Bitcoin, followed by a decrease in Bitcoin dominance, followed by an increase in Ethereum versus Bitcoin. The reason being is that Ethereum is the number one cryptocurrency used to purchase altcoins. So when you see a really big push in altcoins, it's when Ethereum is gaining market dominance versus Bitcoin. So we kind of have this weird setup where some coins are up, some coins are down, but Bitcoin is up at the same time. That's not really ideal. It basically means that money is not coming into cryptocurrency. Money's just flowing from cryptocurrency to cryptocurrency. We're looking for liquidity. That's how you're going to get your growth in your holdings. New money, not the same money that's already in the market. The dollar is up today, so let's go ahead and check our currency strength. And currently, and not by a lot, the United States dollar is the world's strongest currency. The Great British pound is the world's weakest currency right now, but they're all bunched up together, which implies there isn't much movement in Forex. So that's what we're going to check next. And it looks like there isn't, with the exception of Japanese yen. I mean, that's 88 pips, 62 pips, 76 pips, 68 pips, 78 pips, 50 pips, and 63 pips. Everything else is pretty small. Well, no, there's movement here. There's 99 pips on GBP versus Australian dollar. There's 87 pips on euro versus Australian dollar. Everything else is relatively within flat. Generally, what you're looking at on any pair is going to be your ADR, your average daily range. So say we were looking at Australian dollar versus Canadian dollar, for instance. You will see that the average daily range is 6 pips. It's up 29 pips. That's an unusually high day. You go to Australian dollar versus Swiss franc, the average daily range is about 5 pips. It's up 25 pips. So that means it's likely not to go up much further today. If anything, it's likely to lose a little bit of steam and fall closer to this 5 pips movement per day. There's another one. Australian dollar versus Japanese yen moves about 86 pips a day. It's pretty much done for the day. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to go and park on Bitcoin right now. I was right that we have a lot of mixed movement right now. And this is mostly because Bitcoin is starting to fall off. It was up 1,500 points when the day started at 8:30 a.m. It's fallen about 400 points since the opening bell. You can check on indices. All of those were up last night. They're still up now. Looks like oil finally started taking a dip. So did natural gas. All your precious metals are up, which likely means that we have mixed action on equities. And we do. So money's moving from the stock market to precious metals, which also means the futures are mixed for the most part. Yes. Hmm. All right, 8:40 a.m. And we got a couple of tickers here. Let's check out what we've got. That's coming at the top of the hour. We have an invalidation of a trade of Ethereum Cash or Ethereum Classic versus Tether on the 30-minute. You have the same thing on the Ethereum Classic versus the United States dollar on the 30-minute. And most of these invalidations we've seen are to the buy side. That means the market is turning to be bearish or selling off. That's actually good for our existing book of business because we're in a lot of sales. So as of right now, we have 109 positions open in cryptocurrency alone. That does not count our open positions in other assets. For those of you that are new and not aware of the schedule, the Quiet Storm live trading sessions are held every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 2 a.m. Central Standard Time to 4 a.m. Central Standard Time for London, and from 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for New York. We may go a little longer today depending on how much action we get. All right, a little less than 30 seconds to the quarter of the hour. The way this works is every 15 minutes, TradingView is going to go through the 444 assets. We do trade across multiple assets to determine if we have any trade setups. Then we go to each trade setup, determine whether it's valid to hop into the trade. And remember, it's just as important to get into high quality setups as it is to avoid ones that are bad. Just because it's shown on the screen doesn't mean you hop into every trade. There's certain things you want to happen. All right, it's now 8:45 a.m. Takes a full 3 minutes for TradingView to get through all the assets. Around 8:48 is when we'll know if we have anything. If that's not the case, our next tickers are going to be at 8:55 a.m. for the futures market and 9 a.m. sharp for the market proper. And Bitcoin's down 900 points since the opening bell. It's likely to continue following to test its first buy order block at about 103,900. Another 1,400 points lower than where it is right now. I actually do expect it to break through all of this, head towards around $98,000 to retest the support that's sitting there just below 100,000. Not sure whether that will happen today, but I do expect it to happen at least once this week. All right, we've got action. And we have a stop loss hit on FIL versus Tether. We have a stop loss hit on People versus Tether. Again, all indications the market is turning. And we have an invalidation of the trade on the ZIL versus Tether. Okay, no new signals for 8:45. Moving on for our next set of tickers. As you can see, the decline of Bitcoin is accelerating. Let's see if we have any fair value gaps as well. So it's in the middle of breaking through a buy fair value gap right now. So they do exist. There's lots of them. This is one of the reasons why I'm confident this is going to fall. So we're at about 50% of the current fair value gap here, but there's no order block there. So this is in free fall. You can tell this is an institutional move because these long candles are not typically caused by retail traders. Matter of fact, in the 12 years I've been trading, I've only seen it happen 4 or 5 times where retail traders caused it. And most because they got lucky. And I've never seen it on cryptocurrency. I've only seen it in the stock world. For instance, when retail traders run real big on meme stocks like AMC, for instance, it's not usual that retail traders win hundreds of billions of dollars against hedge funds in a single day. And that route went on for months across multiple stocks because they were organized to move as one. Using things like Reddit to communicate with one another. So it's a slow drip, but it looks like we were right. The market is turning bearish. As it gets more and more bearish, you'll pretty much see the entire crypto market go red. Let's check out where the money's going. So this is cryptobubbles.net. This is a listing of the top 100 cryptocurrencies. As you can see, every single cryptocurrency in the top 100 is losing market cap with the exception of one. That means people are taking out money. And cash outflows is one reason that drives the market decreasing over time. And we had the validation of that one order, that one fair value gap is breaking another one right now. Guarantee you probably have an invalidation of another trade. This time it's TRB versus Tether. And we do. Bitcoin has now lost 1,300 points since the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange. Barely positive for the day. It just broke another fair value gap. Now it's working on a third. Again, if you look to the left, you'll see there's more of these. That's free liquidity. So industry or these computers are going to go down and start grabbing and liquidating all these guys out. Probably push a little further down just in case people get desperate and continue to try and buy. And then it's going to reverse. And we have the validation of another order block. Not order block, fair value gap. Now it's working on the fourth one. Bitcoin is now negative for the day. (8:55 a.m.) We should know in the next 3 minutes whether we have anything for the futures market. I doubt it. But with this type of movement, I think we're probably going to get bets on micro Bitcoin or micro Ethereum soon. Just not yet. It's going to have to dip a little further than this for us to get a chance there. What's happening, lovely candles? Good morning. London was very slow. Literally one signal was called the entire session, and that was a dud on German 30 on the sell. Every trade we've had this morning has been either an invalidated trade or hit stop loss from an old setup. Thankfully, we didn't take any of those, so we didn't lose any money by being in bad trades. We do have, I don't think, we have 109 open positions on cryptocurrencies right now. So this is good for us. The Bitcoin is selling off. It's taking the rest of the market with it. But it's not a deep retracement yet. It'd be great for it to lose a couple of thousand points today. Ideally, the best case scenario for us would be for Bitcoin to hit around 97K. That would clear out the entire book and give us a reset. I am thankful for the break though, because I was calling from bell to bell on Thursday and Friday. It was nuts. Thursday was so bad I never actually got caught up. So we do have some sell order blocks that have finally shown up. That means price is not going back up. It's going to continue to fall. That's a good sign. All right, it's 9 a.m. It looks like we have a sell on Palladium versus the United States dollar. We also have that set up on New Zealand dollar versus Japanese yen. Let's go ahead and grab that. Take this off so we can see. This is going to be a sell to 86.238. All right, NZD versus Japanese yen. So 30-minute confirmation, and it is a sell. The Bristol reward is 3.86. Got entry at 86.887. Got the stop loss at 87.055. And we got take profit at 86.238. All right, here's the call for Twitter. And here's the call for everyone else. We've got the New Zealand dollar versus the Japanese yen on the 30-minute confirmation. The entry price is 86.887. Stop loss is 87.055 for 17 pips. Take profit is 86.238 for 65 pips. The risk to reward ratio is 3.86. And we've got a sell set up on Palladium versus the United States dollar. We have the right setup, blue, gray, aqua. This won't show up until 9:30 a.m. We'll keep this in the queue to be called. But this is Palladium versus the United States dollar. Note this is a precious metal. It is more heavily weighted than regular Forex currencies. It's about 10 times weighted, as a matter of fact. So be careful on your lot size here. A 0.01 is the same as a 0.1 on a regular currency. Looks like it's kind of stuck between two value gaps right here. That'll likely resolve itself soon. Hmm. All right, so 9:06, which means we're not going to have any new calls for the 9 o'clock hour. Next ticker is going to be 9:10 a.m. for the futures market and 9:15 a.m. for the market proper. Hmm. We might eventually get a buy signal on platinum. It's not there yet. If we get platinum, we'll get PL1 for futures. Things mixed on spot. Means the dollar's up. All right, so dollar's gaining strength on everyone else. Okay. All right, we do have a call out of the futures market. This is HG1. It's a sell. That's for copper. We also have a call on micro HG, so micro copper. These are on 30-minute confirmations, so they'll mark themselves off at 9:40 a.m. Central Standard Time. We should be able to take both of these. All right, so 3 trades in queue, waiting on 9:30 for Palladium versus United States dollar. Bid on 9:40 for copper and for micro copper. It's really hard to find a reputable broker that will let you trade copper. In 12 years, I think I've seen one, and that broker's now defunct. They got bought out. At any rate, we've got new possible opportunities in less than 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 9:15, the quarter of the hour. But as I have reason to believe we're going to get additional action after the London market is closed. We're going to go to 11 a.m. today. Part of the reason why you have this mixed action is that typically liquidity from the London markets moves perpendicular to liquidity for the New York market. So when the London market closes, you basically have money moving in one direction only. And for crypto, that direction appears to be a sell-off, bearish. The only thing keeping cryptos in relative consolidation right now is money coming from the European markets. That becomes ridiculously overwhelming, and we end up getting a multiple 1,000-point drop on Bitcoin. We'll probably stay till noon because there'll be too many calls to finish in 1 hour. But we're definitely staying an extra hour just in case. Sorry about the reverb on Twitter. I didn't realize that my mic was on the platform. So guys have been listening to double sound the entire time. All right, it's now 9:15. No immediate calls. Again, it takes about 3 minutes for TradingView to get through all the assets that we do trade. We'll know about 9:18 a.m. if we're getting anything from here. We do have a trade in queue to be called at 9:30 a.m. sharp. and two more for 940. Mm-hmm. Okay. So nothing new for 9:15. Next tickers. It'll be at 9:25 a.m. Central Standard Time for the futures market. 9:30 a.m. for the market proper. And go ahead and park on the one that we're all going to call at 9:30. That's going to be Palladium versus US dollar. Generally, what happens here is you end up with a signal call. You have the break of the Asian range. You have the cross of the EMAs. You get a buy or sell call. And then immediately after that, you get what we call a Patrick push, which is a retraction of price back into our trade setup, which gives us better risk to reward, which is why we wait the extra candle after the trade is called to enter the trade. So once this is done in about 10 minutes, the trade entry will probably be somewhere up here. We'll enter for a sell. Again, I caution you, watch your lot size on this. This is Palladium versus the US dollar. It is heavily weighted. You put the wrong lot size and it moves too quickly. You won't have time to react. Have you tried 1x trade? I don't know what that is. Is that a different broker? I mean, I'll check them out. Normally, before I actually unload money onto a new broker, I like to see if they have a demo account just to test their platform. But I'll certainly take a look at them. Right now, I'm already using 4 brokers. So I've got liquid brokers, which is where I take about half of my crypto perpetual trades. They also have other assets I take. I use LHFX, used to be called Eagle FX, but I use them mostly for regular Forex, exotics, precious metals, and indices because they have better leverage. I use BTCC for about another 140 odd crypto perpetual pairs that aren't available anywhere else. And then I use Top Step X for futures. I mean, we actually got a win on soybeans last week. We got the signal call right after Trump and President Xi of China met and agreed that China will purchase the first purchase of soybeans. And it was a buy signal. We got it. And it hit the next day. There's a nice little lick. All right. Now I'm about to move 925 and see if we get anything out of the futures market. If we don't, we got 5 minutes until we get this trade on Palladium versus the United States dollar and possibly more entries into the market proper. And as you can see, I was right. Prices retraced all the way past the EMAs to give us an entry on the sell side. So it's going to be a nice healthy gain on risk to reward for us. And by the way, regardless of how long you've been trading, if you're on any time frame and you're looking at a setup for a buy or sell, wait that one candle before you enter. Generally, it's going to reverse action into your price and give you a better entry. Very rarely do trades just take off on you. If they do, so be it. If they don't, you got a better entry, you're going to make more money and risk less of your money. It's a win-win situation. So this, what do we have here? We've got the blue, the 800 EMA. We've got gray, which is the 200 EMA. We've got aqua, which is the 50 EMA. And anytime we have BGA, that's a downtrend. Doesn't matter what time frame it's on, doesn't matter what asset it's in. What you're looking for, number one, you want the break of Asian range. Top or bottom, doesn't really matter. Number two, you want EMA cross. This is the 5 and 13 EMA. That's right here. And then we'll enter at the close of the next candle. So what you're going to see on most trade setups that are winning setups is for sales, you have a break of the top of the Asian range. You have a cross of the 5 and the 13 EMA, with the 13 being on top and the 5 being on bottom. That means the sellers have control of the market. You wait one time frame, this is 30 minutes, we'll wait 30 minutes. Price pushes back into your setup. You want your EMAs to be in this order: blue, gray, aqua, typically. And you enter at the close of that next candle for a sell. Now, if this were a buy, you need a break of the Asian range to the bottom. You need a cross of the 5 and 13 EMA with the yellow on top, which is the 5, the red on the bottom, which is the 13. In that case, you want aqua, gray, blue, which is an uptrend. You wait one candle and you enter at the close of that next candle for a buy. Okay, it's now 9:30. Let's go ahead and refresh this screen. And voila, we have our trade. So we're going to take this on a short. Here's current price. We're targeting 1353.594. Let's grab the parameters here. This is XPD, USD, Palladium versus US dollar. This is a 30-minute confirm on a sell. The risk is 5.28. Your entry is 1426.641. Your stop is 1440.474. And your take profit is 1353.594. Then give ourselves a little better entry actually because it moved on us. So it's going to be 528 still. 1429.521. And the stop is going to be 1443.534. And take profit is 1356.4. Oops, 0.594. 1353.594. And that's for 75,927 pips. All right, here's the next signal for Twitter. And now for everyone else. This is Palladium versus the United States dollar on a 30-minute confirmation sell. The entry price is 1429.521. Your stop loss is 1443.534 for 13,833 pips. Your take profit is 1353.594 for 75,927 pips and a risk reward ratio of 5.449. Please watch your lot size on this. Remember, 0.01 on Palladium is the same as 0.10 on a regular Forex currency. It's more heavily weighted. Do not mistakenly put in the wrong lot size because it will move very quickly on you. If you get into profit on a trade, which is likely, and you want to take your money just to compound, do that. You don't have to wait till it hits take profit. Now, some of you get nervous on longer trades. All right, so we've got copper and micro copper that'll mark off in the next 6 minutes. We have a new trade called on the euro versus the Swedish krona. That's going to be a buy. And again, same setup. But here we have a break of the bottom of the Asian range. We have a cross of the EMAs. The 5 is over to 13. And we have aqua, gray, blue in uptrend. So this is going to mark off at 10 a.m. sharp for a buy. Back to Bitcoin. Rally a little bit. Sure, classic Elliott wave. Price goes down. Price comes up. price continues down. Then about 2.5 minutes to the mark off on copper and micro copper. We could end up with some additional signal calls on futures as well at 9:40 a.m. Once we get these signals called out on copper, I'll update everyone on where we are for the year to date. About a minute left to go. All right, here we go. We also appear to have calls on MK21 and RT1. Take a look at those shortly. It's going to be a short, targeting 4.98. So 30-minute sell. This is copper. And the risk is 2.75. Got entry at 5.024. Got stop at 5.04. And we got taper profit at 4.98. Here's a call for Twitter. For everyone else, we have HG1. This is the futures on copper. 30-minute sell. Entry price is 5.0240. Take profit. Stop loss is 5.0400 for 32 pips. Take profit is 4.9800 for 88 pips. Risk reward ratio is 2.75. It's HG1. All right, we've got micro copper targeting 4.9805. Risk here is 3.07. Got an entry at 5.025. Got stop at 5.0395. That's for 29 pips. And that's called for Twitter. It's on micro copper. And for everyone else, MHG1 micro copper 30-minute confirmation sell. Entry price is 5.0250. Stop loss is 5.0395 for 29 pips. Take profit is 4.905 for 89 pips. And a risk reward ratio of 3.07. Again, that is micro copper. It is a future. Meantime, we have a 30-minute confirmation sell or buy on euro versus Swedish krona. That's going to pop off at the top of the hour at 10 a.m. We have a sell of RT1 and a sell on MKT1. And this is going to be the Russell 2000 and the mini Russell 2000. It's traded out of Chicago. Meantime, it's 9:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll know about 9:48 if we have anything out of the market proper. If not, our next tickers are going to be at 9:55 a.m. Central Standard Time for the futures market, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for the market proper. That is also the closing bell of the London Stock Exchange. Note, we are expecting a precipitous drop in cryptocurrency starting at 10 a.m. You won't have any more waffling in the market because European money will be gone and it's just U.S. money at that point. All right, a little less than 5 minutes for the next ticker for the futures market, about 9.5 minutes for the market proper. If you already haven't done so, I would appreciate your support. Regardless of the platform that you're on, subscribe, like, and turn on the notifications to keep abreast of when I do go live in the market. In terms of the timing of everything, I do go live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Central Standard Time for the London session, and typically from 8:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. for the New York session. We are going to be going an hour longer for New York today, mostly because I happen to think that we're going to have a precipitous drop off of cryptocurrency from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I want to see if we can catch any opportunities there. Also, congratulations to those of you who hopped in Palladium. We just called this trade. It is nicely into profit now, depending on what you took as term as your leverage. You should be up quite a ways. You took 0.01. You're likely up about 50 to 60 bucks right now. You think anything higher is going to be a multiplier above that. So congrats. We'll sit on this one for the moment. Kind of a pro tip on how you trade these commodities, particularly if they're against the US dollar. The trick is it's against the US dollar. So what you want to be looking at is the DXY. This is the US dollar index. If the DXY is going up, that means the dollar is growing in strength, which means that anything against the United States dollar is losing strength. So the DXY is going up, that almost always is associated with a decline in commodities versus the dollar. So you're going to have silver losing steam. You're going to have US oil losing steam. You're going to have palladium versus the dollar losing steam. And you're going to have platinum versus the dollar losing steam. Conversely, if you go all the way over to crypto spots, if the dollar is gaining value, you're going to have crypto spots normally losing steam. In addition to that, if you go to your currency pairs, all the major pairs, if the dollar is growing in strength, you're going to have a decline in Australian dollar versus US dollar. You're going to decline in euro versus USD. You're going to have a decline in Great British pound versus USD. You're going to have a decline in New Zealand dollar versus USD. And you're going to have a climb in United States dollar versus Canadian dollar, United States dollar versus Swiss franc, and United States dollar versus Japanese yen. You go to your exotics, you have the same thing. You scroll down, and you're normally going to have a buy up of all of these exotics. So this is the Chinese yuan, the Czech dollar, the Danish krona, the Hong Kong dollar, the Hungarian forint, the Israeli shekel, the Mexican peso, the Norwegian krone, the Polish zloty, the Swedish krona, the Singapore dollar, and the South African rand. Now, because you're going to have a sell-off of these assets, you also have a sell-off of their associated futures. So if you go and you're looking, you have MGC, for instance, which is micro gold. You have GC, which is gold. You have PL1, which is platinum. You have SI1, which is silver. You have SIL1, which is micro silver. If commodities are selling off, all of those futures will sell off as well. So it gives you an opportunity to get in on multiple different asset classes and kind of double and sometimes triple up on the money you're making by understanding direction and betting in the correct direction. That's why it pays to have multiple brokers that help you trade a multitude of different assets. Meantime, it is after 9:55 a.m. Central Standard Time. We have no new signals that have popped off from the futures market. Next ticker is 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's the top of the hour. Also the close of the London Stock Exchange. At that point, we should see less consolidation across the market and more movement in one direction or the other, since we won't have the confusion of London or European money flowing through the market perpendicular to U.S. money, which is normally what it does. The flow that you normally see is that London market from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. The market's going to move up and down. So from 2 to 4, the market moves very quickly, buy or sell. For London, from 4 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, the market consolidates. In other words, if you didn't catch your entries early, when liquidity starts hitting the market, you're basically going to get price trapped. Then for New York, and this is 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, you get additional setups. And then for New York, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, this is blue party time. Lots of take profit. So during this point in time is normally when all your setups for London and New York start to hit take profit. Then the market closes at 4 p.m. You have pre-market trading for Sydney from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then you have the slow march for the Asian session, setting a higher low of the day. And all of this starts over again. This is Monday through Friday. On the weekends, it's different because it's just the cryptocurrency market open. There's no institutions that are trading. So it's really easy, if you know what you're doing, to make money as a retail trader over the weekend. Money's only moving in one direction. So if you can determine direction, You can very quickly have a good start to your week. Anyway, it is now the top of the hour. Let's go back to our calls. We have Euro Sheck, which is now popped off. There's going to be a buy to 11.04641. Long position from current price. And Euro SEK. It's a 30-minute buy. Risk to reward is 4.27. Entry price is 11.00613. Stop is 10.9967. That's going to be for 94 pips. And take profit is 11.04641. And here's your next call for Twitter. And the next call for everyone else. We have the euro versus the Swedish krona. This is a 30-minute buy. Entry price is 11.00613. Stop loss is 10.99670 for 94 pips. Take profit is 11.04641 for 403 pips. The risk to reward ratio here is 4.27. Again, this is an exotic Forex currency. All right, so next up at 10:10 a.m., that's 7 minutes from now, well, 6 minutes from now, we have sales on the Russell 200 and the Micro Russell 200. So we'll park on these for right now. Nothing new for the top of the hour, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, our next tickers. Going to be at 10:10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's for the futures market. And for 10:15 a.m. for the market proper. Check in on our theory about Bitcoin. And it is falling, just like I said it would. It was up almost 1,000 points. It's down 700 points in the last 4 minutes and declining. Let's take a look at crypto bubbles to see what the money's looking like right now. And as you can see, you see a whole lot of money falling into altcoins. That means money has come out of Bitcoin into Ethereum and from Ethereum into altcoins. So money is transferring into smaller coins. We look at this for the day and we see even more. STRK and WLFI and Trump coin all getting major gains for the day in terms of liquidity. You look at all three of those coins, you'll probably see they're up quite a ways for the day. A few other coins to mention: Ripple, Render, Injective, HBAR. In terms of market cap for the day, a lot of money flowing into Bitcoin and a loss of market share for Ethereum. So money is flowing into the market right now. But the big gainer on the day, Ripple. And Ripple is up 7.5% today. Huge breakout of the Asian range. All right, we got something on OG versus Tether. This is a take profit smashed. Nice long trade too. Wow. Matter of fact, that's a take profit smash period. We're in that trade on a buy. Go check this out. 17.79. 14.932 is the win. We got a ways to go on the broker because of the spread. So we need another 932. Need another 14 pips or so on the broker to get take profit on this, but we're close. This should hit today. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. In the meantime, we've got less than 2 minutes for Russell 2000 and for micro Russell 2000 or mini Russell 2000, sorry. I don't know why they do that on their naming convention for futures, but if it's the smaller version of an indice, they call it a mini. If it's a smaller version of a commodity, they call it a micro. So same setup, break out of the Asian range, cross the EMAs, downtrend on the EMAs, timber. Just a matter of how far down this is going to go. Do have a buy right here. But there's plenty of fair value, guys, for it to break through. So it could go as far down as right here. About 2403. And we'll see here in a second where it's going to mark us off to. Hmm, 2422.6. Oops. All right, so this is RTY1. This is the Russell 2000. This is a 30-minute sell. Risk to reward at 2.43. You've got an entry at 24.49.10. Got stop at 24.60 even. And we got take profit at 24.22.6. And here's your next call for Twitter. Again, this is RT1, the Russell 2000. 30-minute sell. The entry price is 2449.10. The stop loss is 2460.00 for 109 pips. The take profit is 2422.60 for 265 pips. And a risk to reward ratio of 2.43. Again, that's the futures on the Russell 2000. Next up, we have the futures on the mini Russell 2000, this time targeting 2422.7. This time the risk is 2.08. At the entry at 2447.5. Have stop at 2459.4. And we got take profit at 2422.7. Here's your next call for Twitter. And we have M2K1, the mini Russell 2000. This is a 30-minute sell. Entry price is 2447.50. Stop loss is 2459.40 for 119 pips. Take profit is 2422.70 for 248 pips. The risk to reward ratio is 2.08. Again, as the futures on the mini Russell 2000. We're still waiting on confirmation on the broker for this take profit on OG. It did wick and hit the actual setup, but we're still about 14 pips past this for the spread. But that is going to be a win for us for 771 pips. In the meantime, let's check back on Bitcoin. Still hovering. All right, it's now 10:15 a.m. on above 1018 if we have any other opportunities in the market. I doubt it. If we don't get anything, the next ticker is going to be at 10:20 a.m. Sorry, 10:25 a.m. Central Standard Time for the futures market, and 10:30 a.m. the middle of the hour for the market proper. Wonder if we got any surprise news items that came out. No. Mhm. About 3.5 minutes left for the next ticker for the futures market. About 8.5 minutes left for the market proper. Bitcoin is down. Maybe it won't make the move I'm expecting until after lunch, which is fine. We're still going to cut it short at 11 a.m. today. So far, a few calls today. We've got a sell on New Zealand dollar versus Japanese yen. We have a sell on Palladium versus the US dollar. We have a sell on a copper. We have a sell on a micro copper. We have a buy on the euro versus the Swedish krona. We have a sell on the Russell 2000. And we have a sell on the mini Russell 2000. 7 calls for today. We didn't have anything for the London session. It was pretty dull. At any rate, another reminder, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the platform you're watching on, like the video or comment, and turn on those notifications to keep abreast of when I do go live in the market. If you're not already aware, I am the Pit Messiah on multiple platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Kick. And we go live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 2 a.m. Central Standard Time to 4 a.m. Central Standard Time for the London session, and normally from 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for New York. Going a little longer today till 11 a.m. All right, 2 minutes left to the middle of the hour, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Still waiting on these last few pips for OG versus Tether for take profit on our broker, but it did hit take profit on the setup on TradingView. So again, that's coming for 771 pips. Congratulations in advance for those who took it. It's not a very large currency. For instance, I did an order size of 1,000 units at 20x leverage, and I'm up $685 on the trade right now. All right, here we go. It's about to hit 10:30 now. Let's see what we end up getting. And boom, we got a sell opportunity on the S&P 500 that'll mark itself off at 11 a.m. That'll be the last ticker of the day, so we certainly will be taking that. Again, breakout of the Asian range to the top, cross of the 5 and the 13 EMA, and this is going to be a nice sell-off for us. So we have a sell on the S&P 500 coming in 30 minutes. We may also get the sell on the future alternative. Now, I did explain this earlier. Normally, when you get a setup, the reason we wait till the next candle to enter the trade is price almost always reverses back into price action. So it's already starting to do that. We're going to get a better risk to reward as it moves up in price and then enter for the sell. In the meantime, it is 10:31 a.m. We got about another 2 minutes before TradingView finishes reviewing the 444 different assets that we do trade. And if we don't get anything, then our next ticker is going to be at 10:40 a.m. for the futures market, in which case I hope we also get the futures for the S&P 500, and then 10:45 a.m. Central Standard Time for the rest of the market, in which case I hope we also get a sell on the NASDAQ. Go and check it out, see if that's even possible. It's a 30-minute indice, NASDAQ. It's possible, but I don't really see it happening. We'll see. But it's possible we get a sell entry on the NASDAQ 100. We're definitely not getting one on the US 30. All right, we've got 25 minutes to the top of the hour. Got less than 11 minutes into the quarter of the hour. So let's see if we can finish strong here. Again, we do have a confirmed sell on the S&P 500. That's going to mark itself off at 11 a.m. Probably the last signal that we take for the day, but that is coming. Note the S&P 500 is an indice. It is more heavily weighted than a regular Forex pair, so be careful on your leverage on this. Particularly if you're trying to trade it with an X multiplier as opposed to regular leverage like lot sizes. Works a little bit differently. think I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more to my broker. Been thinking about it all morning. All right, 1040, and we got two more opportunities. This is on ES1. All right, so we got the S&P 500 and the mini S&P 500 on futures. More confirmation we're going to get this. We're going to triple up on this. So we got this at 11 a.m. and we got these at 11:10 a.m. I won't be live with these two, but I will drop them on Twitter so you can grab them then. All right, there we go. All right, so just dumped off another 100K in BTCC. So should be able to handle more trades if I wanted to. What's the mark? 932. So we still need another 14 pips ahead of here. So really need to be a little over 15 for it to hit take profit on the broker because of the spread, which is fine. Fastly approaching 10:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. Slight chance that we get a possible entry on NASDAQ 100, but we'll see. If we do get NASDAQ 100, there's also a chance we're going to get the equivalent on the futures market. All right, 1 minute left to our next ticker. 10:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. So nothing immediate. We'll know for certain around 10:48 a.m. for anything else. If not, then our last two tickers are going to be 10:55 a.m. Central Standard Time for the futures market and 11 a.m. for the market proper, in which case we will finally get our signal on the S&P 500. Looks like we got another ticker, this time on Mana versus Tether. And this is a take profit hit on Mana. Nope, actually, this is a validation of a trade on Mana versus Tether. Okay, so this called out on the sell. We went back and hit the entry price. That one's dead in the water. All right, 11 minutes and 20 seconds to the top of the hour. Bitcoin is still hovering, but most of the market is red. Means Bitcoin is continuing to lose steam. Bitcoin dominance is going to fall off. Let's go to a higher time frame. It's a huge freaking drop. Okay. We're finally getting a Patrick push. So price is starting to retract back into our action here to give us a slightly better entry. Still got another 9 minutes left to go. That's an eternity for an indice. About 6 minutes left to go. And boom, just like that, 11 a.m. Here's our markup on S&P 500, targeting 6705.62. Got a few other mark-offs as well. Of course, those will be post live. Here we go. And this is a 3.15 risk. The entry price is going to be 67.90.94. Stop loss is 68.18 even. And take profit is 67.05.62. All right, here's your last call of the day. Is for the live. Here's your S&P 500. It's a 30-minute sell. Your entry price is 6790.94. Your stop loss is 6818.00 for 2,706 pips. Your take profit is 6705.62 for 8,532 pips. The risk to reward ratio is 3.15. Now, as to things coming up, we have the S&P 500 on the futures. That's going to be called out in about 10 minutes. We have the mini S&P 500 also to be called out. We have a 30-minute sell on the NASDAQ 100. I told you this was coming. That'll drop at 11:30. We have the United States dollar versus the Swedish krona that hit stop loss. That trade is now invalidated. And we have the United States dollar versus the Norwegian krone. That trade is now invalidated. At any rate, I will see you guys bright and early at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow morning for London. If you haven't already done so, I do encourage you to follow me on the platforms. I am on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Kick as the Pip Messiah. You can follow me on any of those. Like and subscribe. Internal notifications for the platform that you're watching me on. And I'll see you guys again soon. Cheers.